cabinet, one is not certain of the role the opposition political parties in River State will play. Would you want Governor Similai Fubara to appoint members of the opposition political party into his cabinet? Again, this is also bringing to the fore the culture of winner-takes-all mentality in our political atmosphere and amongst our political class here in this part of the world. If it is true that democracy depends on all parties participating and representation and equal representation of all citizens, again, one begins to wonder how in River State, where we have the 23 local government chairmen, members of the PDP, 32 House of Assembly members, members of the People's Democratic Party, and the PDP of having the 3 senatorial seats, and of course the PDP having the 13 House of Representatives seats, how the opposition party can actually show activeness in a state like this. Or should we say the opposition party in River State should remain forever silent? We'll be looking at that on the first segment of the show. What can an opposition party do in a state like River State? My guest is already seated. We'll be going on a short break. When I come back from the break, I'll be introducing my guests and we'll begin the discussion. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. This is Point Blank from Super 93.3 FM.
Tired of the lies? Tired of the spin? Are you ready to hear the hard-hitting truth in a comprehensive, conservative, and principled fashion? Point Blank on Super FM 93.3 brings you all the news you need to know. Real conversations, real news, and one-on-one interviews with some of the most intriguing names in River State, South Nigeria, and the country today. Unbiased analysis the way you wish still existed.
They're damaging the economy of the country. I'm not bothered about whether federal government is supporting us or not. Because if you cannot protect the lives of your people, then there's no governance.
From the news that dominates the headlines to the important topics below the fold, left, right, and center busts the opinion bubbles and echo chambers with genuine discussion and real talk.
Out of $500 million that President Goodluck Jonathan borrowed for Abuja Kaduna. At the time I was speaking, we were paid over 100 and something million out of the $500 million.
Tune into Point Blank with Shegan Awolabi every Saturdays 8:15 a.m. on Super 93.3 FM. Point Blank, civilized yet provocative.
And great to see you once again. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is Point Blank on Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. And so we're taking the first segment of the show and we're asking the question, where are members of the opposition political parties? With the elections over, and of course, we have a governor in River State and a cabinet to be formed, what role should opposition political parties play in a democracy like ours? And again, it seems to many political watchers and also those who have been speaking on political affairs that the opposition political parties have gone to sleep. 18 political parties participated in the just concluded election in River State. Where are they? What should they do? And again, just in line with President Bola Tinubu, who has shown indication of appointing opposition political party members into his cabinet, will you advise Governor Similai Fubara to also create special offices for opposition political party members in River State? And again, how can the opposition political parties in River State ensure a check of this current administration? I have my guest in the studio. He is a politician and is a member of the opposition political party. He is the chairman of one of the 18 political parties who took part in the just concluded governorship and National Assembly and presidential election in River State. Well, a lot of people have said he is the youngest chairman of a political party in Nigeria. But again, he is not new to politics. He has been in politics for quite a long time, and he has held several sensitive positions when it comes to politics and issues relating to politics in River State. He is currently the financial secretary of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, and IPAC is a body of all political party chairmen in River State who are coming together, working for the democratization of our governance here in River State. He is the chairman of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, in River State. My guest is Honorable Kendrick Christian, the River State chairman of the Action Democratic Party. Honorable Kendrick, good morning and thank you for joining us on Point Blank this Saturday.
Good morning, Mr. Shegun. Thank you for having us.
So Kendrick and I, for the next 45 minutes or thereabout, we shall be looking at what should the opposition political party do now that the elections are over. Of course, we are aware that a couple of these political parties who took part in the election in River State are in court at the Election Petition Tribunal challenging the result of the election. Apart from these very few, it seems as if the lots of the 18 political parties who took part in the election have gone to sleep. Are we advising them to continue to rest in peace and come back in the next 4 years seeking for our votes? Again, let me ask you, let's begin from your party, ADP. Where are you now?
Shegun, thank you for a very thoughtful topic. For we at ADP River State, we're back to where we've always been, the main opposition. We've always stood, we've always criticized constructively, we've always corrected, we've always applauded. We've done every single thing a political party should do and opposition should do. We're back on that. We're not like the parties who, just like you said, after the next 4 years, see them again to campaign, to waiting there will be any money from the government or from the ruling party, then they go back to sleep. There's a saying that to train up a good child, you take the entire community. This adage does not fit better than it is fitting in politics. For we to have a better River State, it takes everybody. The best brains are not in PDP. The best technocrats are not just in PDP. It's spread across everyone. And River State is for everybody. It is our role to make it better. It is not a role for PDP. The governor is not the governor of a political party. He's the governor of the entire state. So it takes every one of us to work. The opposition parties, they've been sleeping truly. You observed rightly, they've been sleeping. It is time for them to wake up, join us. We cannot do this alone. In the last administration, we've been there criticizing. I will give you a very clear example. There was a roundabout in River State, in Garrison. It was in a form of mockery. It was called the Game of Thrones. Remember in Garrison, one funny roundabout that was done by Governor Nyesom Ezebo. We criticized it instantly. It was public. People were able to call it to say, this criticism is you're too hard on them. But you could see what happened. He turned it to a flyover. If you don't criticize, if you don't correct, if everybody become a cheerleader, the government will never know when they're wrong. So it is the role of the opposition to stand firm, to say, no, this is not good. My people need this. They should have this, without fear or favor. That is the role of the opposition.
And quite correctly, in pointing out the role of the opposition, and during the election, we saw 18 of them participate in the election, and they campaigned vigorously, many of them highlighting their blueprint, telling Rivers people that this is what we'll do. Of course, we know that the elections are now over. We have a governor of River State who has been working. This is his 12th day in office. And even in the 12th day in office, the governor has taken some very critical steps, which we are expecting that, well, the opposition should begin to talk about. Apart from one or two of them, which we know are still in court at the Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja, just like I said, the others seems to have gone back to their business. And again, this brings to the fore objection raised by political watchers earlier that many of these political parties are placeholder or were placeholders, that they do not have interest, they do not have genuine interest in the issue of governance, that they were not coming to the election to win election, but they were sponsored, perhaps by the ruling party, as placeholders to distract the genuine politicians who have interest. Again, would that be correct?
Most times you hear elites in the state tell you, all the parties in River State are for PDP. All the parties.
But it seems like that now, because many of you are not talking apart from one or two of you.
Without any exception. With what is happening, it looks like it. Just like I say, most of them are placeholders. Most of them are businessmen in politics who just come, looking there'll be money to grab, and they go back to sleep. But that should not be the act. That should not be the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to stand. We are part of this government. We are part of the governance. We have a role, a critical role to play. Very, very critical. I would make reference to the PDP in the national for the last administration. I will beat my chest and applaud them for that. They were at all time criticizing. The only role they did not do was to applaud. There was no time they applauded the ruling party APC for doing anything. Whereas I'm talking about the Buhari administration. But they stood still and they were criticizing. In River State here, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. We are like a lone voice in the garden, and It's
But again,
becoming
when
boring.
we talk about criticizing, we're not criticizing for the sake of criticizing. But again, we're looking at criticizing just to bring about the best for the people here. And again, when you talk about that, a lot of people would also want to argue that how do you want the opposition political party to play that role? Because here we have the winner takes all mentality. How do we begin to break that culture of winner takes all?
Yeah, like I said earlier, the criticism must be constructive. Firstly, it must be constructive. This winner take home mentality would not end if the chairman of these political parties just go back to sleep, just like we're saying. It is becoming clear in that is what it should be. The assembly, like I said, 32-32, you hear them brag about it. As House of Reps, they give you the score, they're leading in every angle. The Senate, the same. So there's nobody. The PDP people are praise singers. There's no PDP member who will come out and criticize Sir Similaye if he's wrong. They would never do that because it is not their role. It is the role of the opposition to say, this is not right. And we have to come out. You cannot sit in your house and say it. We have to come out. That's how we'll have reputable media outlets like yours who would come out and say, who would give you the airwave to air your view without...
But the question is, why is the opposition not assuming that role?
Because of the winner takes all mentality. You stated it clearly here that most of them they are like businessmen. You might not be far from the fact that they are businessmen who are waiting for another 4 years. They are not bothered about the governance in River State. They are not bothered about if River State becomes better. There are just a few of us. And on that pack, ADP is first. We have always been here. Some people are tired of us. We go to our pages, some people say, on our own, only to the criticize, only to the correct. Can people do it? Yes. You will not know if we can do it until we get there. But we need more voices. We need a collection of opposition parties to come together and stand and say, this is not right. No, this should be this. We have even gone far, for we at ADP, we have gone far to suggest people who think who would be good commissioners for River State. We'll go as far as that. You can only suggest, you can only advise. You're not forcing it on them. But your voice needs to be heard first. Rivers people need to know that, yes, you're not in this game of politics for money. You're not in this game of politics just to enrich yourself and your family. You're here because you're concerned about the growth of River State.
Again, how concerned are you? Because I recall that the candidate of your party in the governorship election, Victor Fingerson, was in this very studio several times outlining throughout a lot of blueprints, some of his ideas, particularly for the economy of River State and how he thinks that River State will do well. Then while he was campaigning, now he's no longer campaigning. And I'm not sure you are in court challenging the result. I'm not too sure about that. Maybe you want to clarify. Are you in courts? Are you in the tribunal?
Okay. Victor Fingersey, before I go to the issue of courts, Victor Fingersey, we know has the best blueprint.
Okay.
I could defend that at any time. But he has also played his part by making that a public document. Anybody who cares to govern River State well can pick that up and take one or two good points out of there and make River State better. Yes, we are not in court. In 2019 election, we were the only party who fought the ruling PDP to the appeal level. But this time we decided as a party, no, let's sit back and watch. Let's re-strategize. Let's not go to court. And we're not in court. That does not authenticate the election in any way.
Again, when you say let's sit back, re-strategize, a lot of people will say, okay, what is this strategy? Is this strategy to come back another 4 years, asking the people you've forgotten for 4 years their votes, which is what we're seeing from almost all the political parties? In other climes, there is what is called the shadow government, whereby the opposition come together and begin to mirror some of the actions and policies of the government and profile alternative views. Why do you think this is not possible in our climb here in River State? Or do you think it is possible? And if it is possible, how can that be achieved?
Okay. Firstly, Rivers people would not forget in a hurry, just like I said in 2019, we stood from tribunal to appeal. And in this election, we were the only political party who won the ruling PDP from tribunal to appeal to Supreme. That was the issue of not having other political parties partake in the election freely. This shadow government is possible. It's possible if this opposition, but nobody would do it if the opposition party does not do it. If only ADP keeps singing, Every day you tune the radio, you hear the voice of ADP alone. Every day you tune the radio and you hear the voice of ADP criticizing or correcting. It will not sound well. It will look like it will not be a good task. So every political party have to come together and fight this fight. One would want to believe that the APC would champion this cause. But in the last administration, we saw them defending themselves for money that was embezzled. Yes, we embezzled it. No, we did not embezzle it. And we saw a group of them leaving, trooping out of the party. One would believe that at least they should be at the helm of this war, but they are not. So ADP is here. We are welcoming the other political parties to join us and let us make Rivers State better.
You know, a while ago you said something which you said it has become a slogan: 23 over 23, 32 over 32, 3 over 3, 13 over 13. And in case you don't understand that, we're saying that in all of the elective position, People's Democratic Party has taken it all. So are you trying to say, well, the opposition political party has been battered, bruised, and crushed in River State, so we don't have opposition?
Oh, that is not true. That is not true. Every Rivers man knows. They know the fight these political parties, at least the genuine ones, go through just to win an election. That's why when you come out to contest election in River State, your family will first of all advise you, why don't you leave it for them? Because they know what it takes. I'm not going to say all here because we're live, but we know what it takes. So no Rivers man, no true Rivers man will look at these opposition parties and tell you you've been battered. No, we've not been battered. But we still have a role. I keep repeating, we still have a role to play, even not being in the government. Everybody must not be on the seats to proffer solutions. Everybody must not be a governor. Everybody must not be in the assembly. But again, why I made reference of the 22 by 23 slogan is because it is becoming the order of the day. It's looking like a winner-take-it-all mentality.
You're tuned to Point Blank, coming to you from Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt, and we are asking a big question this morning. Where are the opposition political parties? 18 of them participated in the just concluded governorship and other elective elections in River State. Apart from a handful of them who are currently at the Election Petition Tribunal, others seems to have gone to sleep or have gone back to the business, waiting for another 4 years so that they will come back asking for the votes of the people. Is it correct to say that the opposition political parties in River State have been crushed, bruised, and battered? Is it correct to say that, well, we cannot have a virile opposition in River State? Again, what do you say about the winner-takes-all mentality of politicians in River State? Should Governor Simelai Fubara follow the footsteps of President Bola Tinubu, who has shown indication of appointing opposition party members into his cabinet? What are your take? And that's what we're discussing this morning on Point Blank. We'll throw open the telephone lines and we'll take our first set of call. And I've been talking to Honorable Kendrick Christian, who is the state chairman of the Action Democratic Party, ADP. Is a young politician, but with a lot of experience, and he's been in politics for a while. The number to call is 070-5079-1021, as well as 081-174-31021 and 090-3984-8244. I'll call the studio lines again, 070-5079-1021 and 8081-174-31021, as well as 090-3984-8244. Now, you can also send us a short voice note. Do a short WhatsApp message, 30 seconds only. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and also your thinking. 090-5948-1021. That's the number to send your voice note to. Send it to 090-5948-1021. And it is Point Blank Saturday. Let's take your calls. Good morning and thank you for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Hello. Good evening.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Raphael.
Raphael, thank you so much for joining us.
River State to the Action Democratic Party. Good morning, my chairman in the studio.
Good morning. Good morning, His Youthfulness.
Yeah. I want to thank you so much and also thank Mr. Shegun for picking up this important topic. And the issue now is elections are over, like rightly said over there. And I want to plead on all the political parties in River State. Let's join hands together. This is not time for us to speak. It's time for us to wake up. And also, I'm also begging on His Excellency, the Executive Governor of River State, Signora Ekubara, as a matter of importance, bring all political parties. This is not time for politics. Let him look into River State and appoint his cabinet members outside political affiliations. So long as you have the potential and the capability to deliver on his campaign promises, he should look into that, not just getting people who have been there before, just like what is happening now. State commissioners now, and they are all same set of people who have been in the state government with criticized before. It doesn't say good of him. So to us in your position, I think he should work on that. It looks as if him as a person and as a governor of whom Rivers people have entrusted him and given him the mandate, he does not have people aside those people, even in the CDC. Are there no other capable hands who can do the job aside those who have been there before? So I think that is my own contribution.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Raphael.
We work on that River State. We move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raphael. Let's take another one. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Good morning, Pastor Chegun.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning to the chairman in the studio.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Chief Comrade. I am great.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, Chegun, the truth is that why are we still representing the same politicians, same people that have held positions since 1999? Now, Chegun, you see that the River State House of Assembly 32/32, House of Rep 13/13, National Senate 3/3. So somebody and take all those ones. Do you think the other political party will be happy? And if you bear the formal administration try to also truncate other political parties for its own gimmick. Are you telling me that the other political parties will be happy? We're all human. And him has come on board. He has not taken time to see how there will be synergy with other political parties. So for me, let everything relax. Let us look at the legislation.
Mm-hmm.
But as I know, there are legislations still in the court where you see that even when other parties want to get their 235 copies, a flag bearer of the political party was beaten. Is that how we play politics?
All right. Well, Iron Bricks, I think you've made your point. We don't want to go to some other areas that we cannot verify.
To just come and beg you. No, now.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Iron Breaks. Thank you so much. I'll take another one. Let's take this one. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Good morning, Mr. Gu.
Yeah, good morning. But you need to turn down the volume on your radio set.
Yes, I have done it.
Thank you.
Yes, my brother. Very interesting program this morning. Chegu, of the truth, my name is Desire. I'm calling from Samade.
Desire, thank you for joining us. Yeah.
Yes. When we talk about what is happening now in the political realm, I want to greet also your the person in the studio with you. Chegu, let me start like this. Tinubu came into office as the president.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the handwriting on the wall that he really wants Nigeria to move forward. It surprised me that Tim Obara will came in to put the same people that are not been able to keep for River State. Ask me, those commissioners that Tim Obara have now commissioned to do work, how many of them bring a template as to run River State after the governor doing his thing? Because it is actually the mind of River people and them want to work actually with the way the previous administration have worked. Will you tell me that the governor will go and build 12 flyover without a manuscript, without River State people seeing it from a commissioner who will present it before they have for approval? You see, it pains me so much that such a thing will be happening in our state.
Okay.
Governor cannot do much. Because
well, again, when you say, well, again, you need to be calm there. That's not a statement that when you say it cannot do more. Well, are you a clairvoyant? Do you have the part of side? Again, you also need to give him the benefit of that. However, Desire, I think you've made your point very, very clearly. But again, we are not critiquing or criticizing his appointment so far. But we are saying that there were 18 political parties in the last election. And the question is, where are these 18 political parties? And their desire was to serve Rivers people. Must they serve Rivers people during electioneering period alone? With elections now over, are we saying these political parties don't have any role to play any longer in providing service to Rivers people? Are we saying all the blueprints, all the ideologies they read out during their campaigning to Rivers people was just to win election? Is that what we are saying? Are we saying that these political parties have gone to sleep? And that's what we're looking at this morning. But again, I'm speaking to a gentleman who is also in the opposition, and we'll be looking at all of that. Maybe Kendrick, you want to react to one or two comments we had so far?
Okay. Firstly, the references of Bola Tinubu, I think is a good model for others to follow. I think a government of collective efforts is a good way to start, and one would expect that Similar Ifubara would do same.
Do same in giving opposition political parties
a chance.
If as a party,
you know, we've agreed that the best technocrats are not in PDP. I established that earlier. That the best hands are not just in PDP.
Not necessarily in PDP, but of course you can have them all over. It doesn't mean that it must come from a particular party. You can have them from different political. You're trying to say that there are brains all over in River State.
Exactly.
And they can come from different spheres of the political sphere. But again, let us, from your perspective, the perspective of the ADP, how would you rate the immediate past governor?
That's a rhetoric question. And the best way to answer that question is like an African.
And the reason why I'm asking is because one of the callers raised the point that some of those who worked with the previous governor are being brought back. Again, is there anything wrong in that?
Rivers people would ask, assessing Governor Nyesom Wike's administration, Rivers people would ask, are Rivers people employed? The civil service jobs, is it provided? They want 10,000 teachers, is it provided? Do we have a good health care? Those are the questions we would ask to assess Governor Nyesom Wike. And of course,
but again,
there's no better
the present governor has said it is continuous, and they are here to consolidate on some of the achievements, and also to take further some of those that were not concluded. So when someone is saying that, well, it seems as if we're bringing back the former, is anything wrong in that?
The word consolidation in this angle is a charade to me. It's a pure charade. If you promised that 10,000 people will be employed, do it.
But that's one governor.
Governor Mechi promised
teachers
14,000, if I'm not right with the figures. He did it. He didn't wait for someone to consolidate on that. If you promise that Rivers people will be gainfully employed, the youth will be off the street, do it.
But again, it doesn't really mean that every administration will conclude all the promises. That's the reason why I would say government is a continuous.
Mr. Shegun, this is the most important to start with.
Okay.
Human capacity development is the
which
most important.
The governor,
whoever failed in this area has failed woefully.
Which the present government has said it will give attention to. Don't forget that one of its points of call was to the state secretariat, and he told workers at the secretariat that he is desirous of an improved service delivery and building capacity of civil servants. Again, that shows Now, is thinking in line with the previous administration.
It's still early days to judge similar
Well, definitely, it is early
talking
days.
about Governor Nyesom Wike in that area, he himself, he know that he failed woefully.
So again, when someone say that bringing some of the former commissioner on board here, would you say, well, that's starting on the wrong footing?
Yes, I would say.
Why?
Because I just gave you an analysis here that the government did not do well.
So you think everything associated with the past government should just be jettisoned?
I'm still saying that there are better hands in River State. There are 1,001 hands in River State who will do better than whoever you think did well in Governor Nyesom Wike's administration. Give others a chance. Don't make it look like there's something to pay for. Don't make it look like there's somebody who has to put his people in the government for you to have a good name. Don't make it look like you're owing somebody a debt and you're paying through, okay, put his people there. That's what it's...
It is not put his people there. It is putting people who can serve and deliver to River State. It doesn't really matter whether they've served before, but what matters is, do they have what it takes to give, or do they have what it takes to provide service to Rivers people?
It's just like the president now, bringing in 6 ministers from the same administration of Buhari, which we say did not do well. What would we say?
But what is wrong in that?
When we are saying they did not do well, it's totally wrong. There are other people who should try. Let other people try. Nobody is a monopoly of knowledge. And in the first place, we are agreeing that they did not do well.
Well,
following this analysis.
There's no consensus on that. We do not have a census, neither do we have an assembly that said, well, while you may think the past administration did not do well, others feel they've done exemplary, credible. And again, some feel that, well, perhaps some officials will perform with the immediate past administration to also come on board and also lend their experience in moving forward or consolidating on some of the things they did that made them do very well.
You may really believe in this consolidation, but Rivers people don't. They don't believe in it.
Again, you don't have a statistics
to
on
speak
that.
for everybody.
You don't have a statistic on that. You're listening to Point Blank, and I'm having a chat with Kendrick. I'm Honorable Kendrick Christian, is the state chairman of the Action Democratic Party, and we're asking the question, what role should the opposition play in a democracy like ours, particularly River State? Now that the elections are over and Governor Similai Fubara has declared his intention to ensure it provides leadership for Rivers people and River State, and we have, well, the first set of commissioners has been nominated, and we have the swearing in, or we have the screening in the House of Assembly, and we're asking, should the opposition political party be considered for cabinet slots in River State? How can the opposition political party show effectiveness? Or is it a situation of going back to their businesses and coming back again 4 years, seeking for our votes? And again, would you really agree that the opposition political party in River State have been crushed, bruised, and permanently asleep? What are your take? We'll throw open more telephone. We'll throw open the telephone call, and we'll be taking more calls. And don't forget, you can send us your messages via WhatsApp. The number is 09059481021. Let's take this call. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to Point Blank Saturday.
Pastor Shehu, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, this is Shadrach for Oji.
Shadrach, thank you for joining us.
Yes, Pastor Shehu. If I'm not making a mistake, I'll say your guess is not really correct in that now I just use the last 4 years Governor Wike last year.
Well, again, that's not the focus. That's
yes.
his perception.
Yes,
again.
I know. Our focus is that what oppositional party should do
Exactly.
in the River State. Yes. So, as I put last year on, I will start from there. My party will speak to the end, our spokesman at the camp to PDP. If you remember, because of that, that's why the governor said offering trying to make and join APC. You understand? Then the year just started. APC is not relaxed. The matter is on court. So now, with the try APC, I want to speak from my own part. APC is trying to do what? To put at the house in order because he gets some allegation. He gets some things we will try to put in order before we come out fully as opposition party. I'm so surprised in a time of some parties that will carry their case go court. They withdraw because of they say they miss so person said that she withdraw. It's not supposed to be like that. That's why River State is calm. That's why we see PDP is doing anything they like to do because why nobody challenge them. You understand?
All right.
But I'm really thank God for now that the real empire is removed. Is not longer there again. The one who
Well,
is
again,
there
I don't
now.
understand what you mean by that, but I think you've made your point very clearly. And you say for you and your party, you are trying to put your house in order. Again, let's take another call. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. Point blank.
Good morning, Mr. Shugu.
Good morning.
My name is Domenembe.
Domenembe, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning to your guests in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
Shugu, when you said that should Sim Fubara appoint opposition members into his cabinet, to me, I would say it is no. Because
Why no?
if we are playing politics of ideology, the political ideology of Sim might be different from theirs. So harmonizing it to work for the speedy development of Rivers State will be a problem. But he can pick out some points from them, bring them in later. But this set of commissioners that have been appointed are those that seem believed that they have the same political ideology to consolidate on the gains of the former administration. We shouldn't play politics from emotions. We shouldn't play politics from the angle of pains. You and me know in this state today, we don't have any opposition. The only opposition we have is close to election year. You see them with billboards and flyers with offices in the wards, LGA. They only managed to have a structure in the state. That is opposition. No, Shegu. If we are having an opposition in Rivers State, we should have an opposition that will critique, that will suggest and applaud the government decision at all times. Not those that would use, let me use a local language, bad belly, to critique governance in the state. They should be constructive so that the government can learn.
All right.
This one, you see them, they are not constructive. They are not after the pace.
Beg your pardon. Let me just take one or two things you've talked about here. You talk that you will not advise Governor Similaye Fubara to appoint members of the opposition into his cabinet. And you were talking about ideology difference. The question I ask is that what is this difference in ideology? I mean, I spoke to a lot of politicians during the campaigning. To me, almost all of them are saying the same thing. So why do you think there is an ideology difference?
We don't see their blueprint. PDP has their blueprint. PDP is a serious party in Rivers State. All the candidates all the aspirants that aspired to be gubernatorial candidates of PDP have their blueprints ready. These people don't have. They are struggling to even make their own manifestos. So how will they come and work when they're not serious with governance and politics? All what you see after 4 years, you see them come again. After election, they go back to their business, they come again. So, Shegu, I don't think they are serious-minded people.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, Domenembe, and we quite appreciate your contribution. Again, would you agree with Domenembe that many of these opposition political parties have a different ideology with the ruling People's Democratic Party? And again, what does ideology have to do in the appointment to serve? We are talking about forming cabinets. Do you think having an opposition in the cabinet of this present government would somehow destabilize or derail the ideology of the present government? Let's talk a little bit about that, and we'll just take some calls on our WhatsApp. Now, don't forget the WhatsApp message. Send us a 30-second WhatsApp message to 09059481021. Send your WhatsApp message. We'll be taking the WhatsApp messages. Let's take this call. Good morning, and thank you for joining us, Point Blank.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Shegu.
Good morning.
Hector.
Hector, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Sometimes we criticize not because we hate or we dislike the people in government or in the hands of affairs. We criticize so that they will work, or they will work more, or they will do better. And if we don't criticize, they will not do better, or they will not work. And if they don't work, they are praise singers. We have nothing to sing praises. Now, if we are to go by the words of Napoleon, who says that we should not interrupt our enemy when he speaks, then we will all keep silent. But for our state to develop, all of us must not be in government. almost all of us must not give the tax. So we play different roles. So that is why there should be a strong, formidable opposition. In any society where there is no opposition, especially in a democratic system, then that society will end up failing. So we don't criticize because we hate people in government. I have been a critic since 2017. I have been criticizing the previous administration and also both at the state and the federal level.
But again, Hector, if I may just ask you this before you go, have you seen the kind of opposition you would want? Have you seen it in River State? And again, you have talked about, well, what you talk about is what I asked Hendricks a while ago on forming a shadow government. Have you seen that?
Unfortunately, we find ourselves in a state where the ruling party does not even want opposition to exist. I could recall some time ago, the former governor, Wike, says there is no opposition in River State. Now, the opposition that was existing, which is the APC, that's a formidable opposition, also have internal issues. And their internal issues make them to look incapacitated, or they are weak. They seem to be weak in opposition, in their role as opposition. Here come Ambassador Sogumabo Jakrish of NRM. He also played a critical role and also brings so many questions, hidden questions that people perhaps are not aware happening in the state. So the government, my opinion, every government should give room for opposition. It is unfortunate that even in the House of Assembly we have just one-party system. So even River State is a one-party state. So in a situation where there is a one-party state, how will the opposition, the voice of the opposition will also be known and be strong?
Hector, well, thank you so much for sharing your views with us this morning, and we'll continue the conversation. Let's take this one. We just have about 10 minutes more on this segment of the show. Good morning, and thank you for joining us, Point Blank.
Good morning, Shegun, and good morning to your guests.
Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, Mishak,
my name is Mishak.
Mishak, welcome.
Yes, Shegun, I've read somewhere that critics are not the best managers, are not always, they don't turn out to be good managers. So with that in mind, the question I asked myself, are the opposition good managers? Well, it depends on how you look at it, but I think that the oppositions are doing their best, contributing to the development of River State, and they can still also continue to contribute without necessarily being appointed into governance or into the governance of into appointment position of in the government. I think they can still continue to play their part in the development of a state. That is my position.
What's your take on the winner-take-all mentality?
Shegun, like I said, really, it's not about, I don't call it a winner-take-all mentality. It depends on the burden bearer, the flag bearer, the person who is leading, who knows where he is going. Yes, we've donated our power, to him. And then he once in a while comes to tell us, look, this is where I want to go. This is the direction where I want the state to go. And then we now contribute our quota in terms of criticism, in terms of expertise, in making sure the government goes. So for me, it's not about the winner takes all, the winner takes it all. No. For me, it's about what he wants, how he best feel his administration, his vision and mission. Of the state can better be served.
Fantastic.
And for me, So I want to encourage the opposition to keep contributing individually. They have a multinational, they have other areas where they are contributing to development of the state. It's not only about, it shouldn't be about being appointed into a position of trust. And I want them not to canvass for that at all. They shouldn't be pleading for appointment. They should contribute beautifully in other areas as well.
Thank you so much. And you're listening to Point Blank Saturday, and we'll be looking at the big issue. The big issue is on the dormant opposition political party in Rivers State. It seems as if most of the 18 political parties who took part in the just concluded election in Rivers State have all gone to sleep, or perhaps you say gone back to the business as usual and waiting for another 4 years to come seeking for the vote of the people. But just a few of them who are currently at the election petition tribunal. And again, we are asking the question, should Governor Simelai Fubara create opportunity for opposition political party members to be in his cabinet? And again, your feelings about the winner takes all mentality and what role the opposition political parties should play, particularly when it comes to democracy like ours. And I've been speaking to Honorable Kendrick Christian, who is the state chairman of the Action Democratic Party, is in the opposition, and is the financial secretary of IPAC, which is the coming together of chairman of all political parties in Rivers State. So, Honorable Kendrick, you heard from one of the callers, and he's saying that he will not advise Governor Simelai Fubara to appoint opposition members into his cabinet, because for him, it will amount to a derailing of the ideology of the new government. How correct is that?
I totally disagree with my brother Dumulem. That is actually not true. This idea, just like he mentioned of blueprints, when you appoint somebody into a cabinet, you're not bringing your blueprint and say, let's reshuffle it or let's change things. You said you wanted to, for example, you wanted to develop the riverine area. You wanted to look into tourism. And this is, you put somebody as commissioner. How can we make it better? So the idea, you are the vision bearer. How can we make it better? That is why you're the commissioner. This is what you should do. This is what you should do. You're not going there to give orders, actually. So the issue of ideas, that is not true. These expatriates, these technocrats will make it better. That is the word. That is the phrase, actually. Yes. And my brother Mishek also talked about appointments. No, the idea is not to beg for appointments. The idea is to tell them that you must not necessarily be in PDP to work for the government. You must not necessarily be doing PDP before you are appointed. That is it. Okay, I'm sitting here talking because I'm a politician and I belong to a party. What about those who does not belong to PDP? What about those who does not belong to any political party?
But they have what it takes.
They can go and work. But what we're saying is that you must have performed during the election. You must have supported in one way or the other. This appointment is a way of paying you back. And we're saying no to that. And it should be for everybody that can do the work better. You're a technocrat, you're good in this area, come offer. Just like we are praising Herbert Wigwe, who came in now to build a university. Beautiful. He's not a politician. You must not be a politician. You must not be in this party. You must not have worked for us. You must not have mobilized for us before you could have a place in this government. That is what we're talking about.
All right, fantastic. Let's just go back to the social media, and we'll be taking all your comments on WhatsApp. I will take some comment from WhatsApp and also what you are saying on our Facebook page. And don't forget that we're live on Facebook. On Twitter, we are live on Twitter. On Twitter, it is Super FM PH. On Facebook, it is Super 93.3. And on Instagram, it is Super 9.3 FM. So on Twitter, we have a comment here. And this is coming from Engineer Luda. I said, actually, the role of opposition party in the state is not active nor functioning owing to intimidation from the ruling party. Beside, politics ought not to be violent, but it's the other way around, and the country as a whole not good for democracy. And thank you so much for that comment. And Edijo Indem said, good morning, Pastor Shegun, and your guest in the studio, and your guest, Honorable Kendrick. For me, many opposition parties allow their own members used by the party in power to frustrate their own party. For the opposition should go and rest. So opposition, you should rest in peace. And that's from Edidion. And thank God ability to say, Shegun, good morning. The opposition parties in Rivers State are weak because those that ought to speak or checkmate the ruling party in Rivers State are in the ruling party. And Essence Terminal Patrick, good morning, Shegun. What is wrong in opposition having a different ideology? Especially the opposition ideology is far better than the so-called ideology of the ruling party. And another one, Tiger 80. Good morning, Shegun. For me, the opposition party is not following the law of the party. I greet the guests in the studio. Good morning. Actor from LMA Bubu, opposite Adventist Church. Well, thank you so much. And let's come to, we'll be taking more of your comments on the social media, on the Facebook and Twitter. But quickly, let's come to WhatsApp and let's see what you are saying on WhatsApp. Well, again, let me just quickly take on this one. Melu Bari, Dibo says, Shegun, I greet your guests in the studio. Having an opposition in the cabinet of this present administration will derail the ideology of the present government in River State. Rather, the opposition should stay back and do their constructive criticism so as to strengthen the present-day government in River State. That is the way to go. So Melubari feels that no, opposition members should not accept appointment into this present cabinet, but they should form a sort of shadow cabinet and continue to embark on civic education of the people. So let's hear what people are saying on the WhatsApp. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Monday calling from Port Harcourt.
Monday, good morning.
Please, when you bring up matters like this, issues like this, allow people to air their views. Don't cut them off, please. It's not nice. Allow people to say their mind. Don't just cut them off.
Well, thank you so much, Monday. We don't cut people off, but what we simply do is to put people in the right track. Let's take another one. Good morning.
Shegun, good morning.
Good morning.
I am Comrade Kenneth Biaime.
Comrade Kenneth, good morning.
Shegun, I completely support the existence of opposition, especially in Sim's government. You know why? Sim is a man that has come to work. He has decided to work for River State, and at all costs, if the opposition is constructive, I think he will listen and work in that side, all for the benefit of River State. But in a situation where we say the opposition want to distract the governor, I think they will not work. For this particular dispensation, let opposition be on their feet and help the government to succeed in River State.
And thank you so much for that. Let's take another one. Good morning and thank you for joining us. Valentine, good morning.
We see that the opposition party in River State are not trying at all. In the sense that I see them as people who only come during election period to make noise and then collect money from the ruling party, and after then they go back to their homes and relax. And I will say here today that if it continues like this, then Rivers people will begin to lose faith on those opposition small party who will come and tell us so many things from the manifesto. And at the end of it, you will not see any different. Thank you and God bless you.
Well, thank you so much, Valentine, though the volume is very low. But let's see if we take one more. Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Shegun.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guest in the studio. I am Dami from Port Harcourt.
Dami, good morning.
For me, I think without constructive criticism, even the governor himself won't know when he's not right. I also want to plead with him to spread his tentacle from other political parties. It shouldn't just depend on PDP alone. There are better hands out there that can handle the job of moving the state forward and letting development thrive in this state.
All right. Thank you so much, Dami. Thank you so much. We said 30 seconds. We have lots of them, but we just have about 2 minutes more to end this segment. So we'll take one more and we begin to conclude the segment. Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Shegun and your guests.
Good morning.
I'm voicing you guys from Alete Petrochemical.
Thank you.
For me, opposition party, especially in River State, they play a very bad role. Why am I saying so? It's because this the party in power to use some of their members to frustrate their own effort and other things in the state. So for me, opposition party in the state should just help their people to sit up and do the right thing.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And that will be the last we take there because we have so many of them. So again, Honorable Hendricks, you heard it. Opposition party need to sit up. So what would be your final word? Because we're wrapping up now.
My final word, especially for Sir Simila Ifobara, is for him to run his own administration. Emphasis on the word own. He should run his own administration.
So he's not running his own administration now?
He should run his own administration. I would love to re-emphasize. And again, he should not strangulate oppositions like the last administration did. One of the reasons why people are saying oppositions are dead, they should go and rest in peace, this strangulation is unbearable. This political party saw hell in the hands of the ruling party. That is why you see people jumping back to them at every single moment. Because if you cannot win them, you join them. Well, we're still here as the opposition because we believe that someday we will beat them. That's why we're still the opposition. So please, he should not strangulate oppositions. We have a critical role to play in this governance. We're going to also help to make this administration better. And the funny thing is the praises go to him, not to the opposition. If somebody from BB party or CC party who's good becomes a commissioner or becomes one thing or the other and works effectively well, the praises goes to the governor. I just gave you a clear example of where my idea was used by Governor Nyesom Wike, and nobody talks about it. If I don't say it here, you would not hear it. The praises goes to him because he is the governor. But if when you don't want the positions to play a role, you don't want criticism, you don't want anybody, you want everybody to sing praises for you, everybody must be your band leader, you're not going to be a good leader.
Honorable Kendrick Christian, the state chairman of the Action Democratic Party, we must thank you. And of course, we know that this government is still new, just about 12 days or thereabout, and we're working towards the 100 days of the government. Of course, we've seen one or two appointments, but again, opposition have a huge role to play. Thank you so much for coming to the studio, for talking to us.
Thank you for having me, Shegun. Thank you, River State.
You're listening to Point Blank. We'll be going on a short break.